Boys, Justin Gaethje has shocked the world, shocked me, won me $100 because I had to throw a little TKO for Justin Gaethje because I just knew there was a possibility with him. Dude, I still can't believe he beat Ilia. But UFC White House has just happened. I'm gonna give you my instant reaction. Well, not instant, it's been like 2 days. And I'm gonna say what fights I think each fighter should have next. So starting off with Diego Lopez and Steve Garcia, Steve Garcia actually was cooking. I'm not even gonna lie. He looked really good up until he got finished, of course. But he actually, he's got good boxing. But nobody at featherweight can hang in the pocket with Diego and just throw. Only Volk. And that's because he's smart. But, even Volk could have got caught. He got dropped. So, he could have got finished even. But I think it was at the end of the round. So, I don't know. I think he just dropped to a knee. I'd have to rewatch it. But, yeah, Lopez, absolute dog. Got the sickest picture of the entire event. Just standing on the octagon. And I think if he fights at featherweight again, he needs to fight Yair Rodriguez. We need to see it. They fucking hate each other. This could be at UFC Noche. Easy. And if he goes to lightweight, which he might, he said he might. I mean, he weighed in at lightweight. I think he should fight either Charles Oliveira or Max Holloway if he beats Conor McGregor, which he probably will. But let's see. He could also fight Rufy. I honestly would not hate that fight at all. Lopez versus Rufy, that would be a pretty sick fight. But that is also two fan favorites who you kind of want to see continue to build their career and maybe fight at a later point because they have that potential. If Lopez moves to lightweight, of course. This is all dependent on that. But yeah, maybe Lopez could fight Aljo. That could be a number one contender fight. And then if Loyev wins, that could, easy. Whoever wins that one, you just give him a title fight because then Volk will probably retire because they can't really give him an immediate rematch because he hasn't. Did he defend the belt? Wait. Oh, yeah, he did defend the belt. He beat Lopez twice. Maybe they could give him a rematch if he beats Evloev. I wouldn't be surprised. But the Lopez versus Movsar rematch is a pretty decently big fight. A lot of people would be rooting for Lopez. You could get that Brazil-Mexico fan base back from the UFC because you can't have him fight Volk again. And yeah, Aljo, I mean, people hate on Aljo, but I don't think he deserves it that much. I think he's a good fighter and a decently good human. Not decently, he's a good guy. But yeah, Steve Garcia, he should fight Yusuf Zalal. That's easy. Or Aaron Pico. Tell me I'm not cooking, bro. Aaron Pico versus Steve Garcia, guaranteed knockout. 2 glass cannons. What more can we ask for, bro? That's fucking great. That could be fucking any card. And that's a banger. Just don't make it a main event. Not a fucking fight night main event, please. Or Steve Garcia, Melky Costa 2. They both have evolved greatly since their last fight. Kind of makes sense. They both are coming off a loss. fighting pretty high up in the division compared to where they are. So that could make sense. The winner gets to keep, building up in their career. The loser is going to have to, fight some unranked guys. So, they kind of both have a lot of options after this fight, Lopez and Garcia. So that could be interesting. Next fight on the card, Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dukas. I think both of these guys could, this is like a four-way street. Either guy could fight anyone. Well, obviously, Dukas and Nickel aren't going to fight each other. But I think either Edmund Shabazian for Bo Nickel or Shara Bullet. And whoever they're not fighting, give them to Kyle Dukas. So if Bo wants to fight Shara Bullet after he most likely beats Michelle Pereira, I think that's a good fight. Maybe a Jacob Malkoun for Bo Nickel. That's a good test. That guy's a dog. Maybe a Roman Dolidze if they want to make him ranked. I don't think he deserves a ranked opponent, but Roman Dolidze doesn't deserve to be ranked either. Maybe a Marvin Vettori, and then I think, or Edmund Shabazian. I think Kyle Dukas, I think he could fight Shabazian or Shara Bullet. I think those are really, just those two guys for him. He doesn't really deserve nothing crazy. Probably, yeah. Or maybe even, who knows, a Andre Petrosky, Cody Brundage. You never know. Anyone. He kind of is in no man's land now. Next fight. But Bo Nickel, I honestly think he could be ranked. I think give it 2 more years because he needs to develop. He's very talented, very hard worker, obviously. Can read minds. So, gotta watch out for that, bro. He knows what you're gonna do next. So, he actually could be champ. Who knows? He could be the next champ. He could be fighting Strickland next, and we don't even know. But he knows. He read Dana's mind at the White House. He read Trump's mind. He was like, I love Bo. Give Bo a title shot. He deserves it. He's gonna beat Sean. Give him Adesanya. You know what? Give him Pereira. He's gonna beat Alex Pereira. I know it. Oh no. A lot of people don't think he's gonna win. I know he's gonna win. Yeah, Bo Nickel, he could be very... I could honestly see him being top 7. But then kind of losing to guys that are just crazy good. But because he has an ego where he wants to prove he can strike, even though obviously he's good enough, but he's not he's not going to be able to outstrike Sean Strickland. That's just a fact. Everybody knows that. But he could outstrike a Roman Dolidze, a Marvin Vettori, some absolute bums who somehow were ranked. But, yeah, Bo Nickel, definitely should not be shooting him near the rankings anytime soon. I think at least 3 more fights for him. Let him develop. He is still early in his career. He has 10 fights. He has not proven to be that dominant. He's not freaking, I don't know. He's not, I can't think of anyone who got it. He's not Pereira. Exactly. He's not Pereira. That was the example I was looking for. He doesn't deserve a title shot that quickly. There's no reason he should build himself up and do it the right way. He doesn't have any reason to be fast-tracked. But next fight, what was after that? Was that... Oh, Mauricio Rufy versus Michael Chandler. Ugh, that was rough for you, Chandler, buddy. But don't worry. You can adopt Derek Lewis. Oh my gosh. Derek Lewis might be up for adoption from Trump. He's like, you know what? I don't like this guy. He didn't do shit. Neither of these guys did shit. Yeah, Michael Chandler got absolutely dog walked by Mauricio Rufy. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. I thought maybe Michael Chandler could have some explosiveness, enough explosiveness to, like, at least land a few punches. Like, you know, kind of his big, like, switch stance as he steps forward, just winging hooks, the big meaty hooks. Like, I thought maybe he could land one of those, but dude, Rufy's too good. Chandler is washed. Chandler should retire. If he doesn't retire, give him Bobby Green. I think Bobby Green deserves a name like that. Somebody that can get him into the rankings, because he has done so much. And I think he might be able to... Well, I know Bobby Green's fighting Terrence McKinney, which is a crazy fight. That fight should not go very long. I mean, who knows? Unless Bobby Green is just that fucking good. He just doesn't get touched by Terrence McKinney, but I could see him getting KO'd. Even if, honestly, win or lose, give Bobby Green Michael Chandler. He deserves it. He's done so much for the UFC, and he is super underrated. He is so fun to watch. Never gives a boring fight. I think he would beat Michael Chandler pretty easily. But you never know. Michael Chandler is fucking crazy. He literally makes no sense. He is like Derek Lewis at lightweight. Where it's like 1 minute he's freaking front kicking Tony Ferguson, and next minute he is getting TKO'd. You know? It's like, but most of the time he's getting TKO'd. It's like the next 3 minutes he's getting TKO'd. But who was I talking about? Oh yeah, Michael Chandler, Mauricio. So Michael Chandler, yeah, he should fight Bobby Green. Bobby Green deserves a big name. And Mauricio Rufy, he could fight Max Holloway. That would be a sick fight. But also a fight I wouldn't want either guy to lose, so that would suck. Or the one that I really would like, Dan Hooker. I think he should fight Dan Hooker, and we just get an absolute banger. Or we get an absolute demolishing by Mauricio Rufy again. Because Dan Hooker's that kind of guy. He's either a war or he's getting TKO'd in a round. Unless you're Edson Barboza. In that case, you're fucking absolutely destroying him. That shit was crazy. But yeah, Mauricio Rufy versus Dan Hooker. Tell me I'm not cooking with that one. Next fight on the card, I think it's Derek Lewis. He needs to retire. He needs to retire, or he can fight Shamil Gaziev. That'd be funny. Just battle of the blobs. But yeah, that fight would be funny to watch. Definitely some low-level MMA. Honestly, Shamil would probably win that one. But yeah, I think Derek Lewis should retire. Unless he wants to fight like some absolute bum like Thomas Peterson or some random ass dude. Maybe like Steven Asplund. Dude, I wouldn't mind like giving Steven Asplund a freaking, you know, a jump up. Give him Derek Lewis, bro. He's a dog. He's fun to watch. He would get a big bump in, you know, his, like, people knowing about him if he fights a guy like Derek Lewis. He's got a fun personality. Yeah, dude, Steven Asplund is awesome. Hopefully he freaking gets some wins, because that fight against Vitor Petrino was awesome. And then Josh Hokett, dude, this one's easy. Give him Waldo Cortez Acosta. He already has called him out multiple times. He has lines ready for him. Costa doesn't like him. That would be a good fight. They're both coming off wins to Derek Lewis. It makes sense. I think that's the fight you make next. That could be a great fight night main event. Or, you know, feature fight on a pay-per-view. Maybe co-main on like a, you know, lesser pay-per-view. But yeah, that has to be the fight you make next. Maybe Volkov, but I don't think Volkov should be fighting again. He doesn't deserve to fight again before fighting for a title at least once. He's been done so dirty. He should be fighting the winner of Gane versus Aspinall. And that's just end of story. So yeah, Hokett versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. That's a banger. Two super athletic heavyweights, but Waldo's a fucking blob as well. Athletic blob versus athlete at heavyweight. So that's a banger fight. They got beef. He's called them out. I think that is an amazing fight for, like, maybe no UFC Noche. Is that going to be a pay-per-view? It could be a fight night. I have no idea. But, like, the timeline kind of works. And let's see. Oh, Sugar Sean, let's go. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, have no fear, Sugar's here. He knocked out Ariel Helwani. He did it all. He did all of us a favor. Got rid of the rat, the weasel, the little rat. That was a horrible one, right? Little weasel. That was a little bit better. Got rid of frickin' Ariel Helwani for us. Saluted the crowd. A little sus on the salute there, Sean. A little straight, you know, like almost like you were in 1940s Germany, you know, like yeah, watch out next time. Maybe salute more down, because you were like right in that Hitler territory. But yeah, I think Sean, either he fights the winner of Peter Yan versus Merab, but that might be delayed because Merab's knows, and he's just a wild man. You never know with Merab. And then frickin' yeah, so he could fight the winner of that maybe early next year if they somehow fight this year. But if they don't, I think Sean should fight Umar, because I think he's going to beat David Martinez. He's probably going to wrestle fuck him. It's probably going to be one of those fights where it's like 25 strikes landed the whole fight. Umar gets rocked by like a crazy fast punch that Martinez lands. Then he takes him down and holds him there for 30 seconds in the round and fucking somehow wins it. Yeah, you already know that fight's rigged for Umar. Unless he gets absolutely demolished. Like, if it's a close fight, it's going to Umar. That's just a fact. Yeah, I think if Peter Yan and Merab fight soon enough, I think Sean O'Malley should fight the winner. But if not, I think if they like do it, like if they're fighting in like October, November, Peter and Merab, I think Sean should fight Umar on the undercard. I think that would be a banger. Easy, definitive number one contender. No ifs, ands, or buts. But if Merab wins and Sean wins, that kind of sucks. But hopefully Sean wins and Peter wins. So yeah, that plan actually might not be able to work, just in case Sean and Merab win. But yeah, because I guess if you do the Peter Yan Merab match and you don't do Sean versus Umar, if Merab wins, you can do Umar, because then you don't have to risk him losing to Sean. And that would make more sense for the UFC, I would assume. But if Peter wins, then you can do Sean or Umar. And then having a definitive number one contender makes sense, even though you don't necessarily need it for this fight, for Peter to fight either of those guys. But if Suga gets it just off of these two wins against Song Yadong and Ayman Zahabi, you know people are going to be whining about it. So yeah, I would like to see Sean versus Umar, or Sean versus Corey, or Sean versus Mario Batista if he wins. That could make sense. If Umar wants to, fights the winner of Peter versus Merab. And then Sean versus either Corey or Mario would be the number one contender at that point. So that could make sense as well. So there's a lot of options for Sean, depending on how the division plays out, kind of. So he could be getting a title shot next. He could have to fight Umar. He could have to fight Corey. He could have to fight Mario. You never know. You never know with these things. So that, and then Ayman Zahabi, I think he should fight Peyton Talbot. Boom. They want to push Peyton Talbot. Nobody cares to watch Ayman Zahabi. He's got a high ranking. Is he 6 or 7 now, maybe? Grown-ass man, by the way. I know what you just thought of. Zahabi is probably ranked somewhere in between 6 to 8. So yeah, and Talbot's number 11. I think that is the fight to make next. Talbot just beat Cejudo. Or Zahabi versus Raoni Barcelos. I don't know if they fought. I don't think so. I don't know why I feel like they fought, but I don't think they have. But yeah, either Peyton Talbot or Raoni Barcelos. I would prefer Raoni Barcelos just because I think he deserves it more because he beat Peyton Talbot. But I know the UFC is going to push Peyton Talbot. They want to. He can be the gay UFC fighter, Frank Ocean's boyfriend. No, I'm joking. He probably is gay. No. But yeah, Ayman Zahabi, he can fight either Raoni Barcelos or Peyton Talbot. Probably gonna be Peyton Talbot. You know how it is. The UFC. they push who they want to push. It on merit, it should be Barcelos, but you know, the UFC they'll probably want to push what's his name? Peyton Talbot. And then next with the co-main event, sadly, the terrorist one. Alex Pereira lost to Cyril Gane by knockout. Sad face. We almost had the dream card. Literally, if Pereira won by knockout, this would have been the greatest day in American history. It would have been the greatest day in UFC history by such a large margin. It would have been so amazing. But can't always be perfect. But at least, hopefully, we will get to see. Obviously, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane is next. Hopefully, Tom Aspinall can get his revenge and fuck up Cyril Gane and send him to the Shadow Realm and banish him from the UFC title picture. Please, Tom. Please. We cannot have Gane be an undisputed champ. It cannot be allowed. Yeah, they should fight. Hopefully they can fight sometime in October, November, maybe. I think Tom said he's about to be cleared soon, so he probably wants some time. I would say they'd probably fight in December or January, because Tom's going to want some time to get back into the flow of things. I'm sure he stayed in shape, but fight shape is different than, working out shape. And having to take that time off, not being able to spar, not being able to get that feeling, being able to use that energy, build up that fighting stamina, is going to, hinder Tom a little bit. So he's going to have to take a little bit of time. It's not going to take a crazy amount of time just to build himself back up from that point. And yeah, I could see them fight in anywhere from November to January, maybe October if we're lucky. But yeah, that's definitely the fight to make next. And maybe put the Hokit versus Waldo on that undercard, and that's pretty much an easy number one contender fight. Everyone knows. Let's see. And then for Pereira, if he stays at heavyweight, give him Volkov, I think. I don't think that's bad for Volkov. If he has to fight again against a guy like Pereira, getting a ton of attention, if you win, guarantees you a title shot. He pretty easily could win with that range. But, Pereira has fucking crazy KO power. I could see either guy winning. I think that would be pretty even odds, too. I could see Volkov wrestling, too. Volkov is a very good wrestler. Very underrated wrestler. Has good submissions. Got the Ezekiel choke on Tuivasa. Has done a lot. Very, very grizzled vet in the game. So yeah, I think Volkov either deserves a title shot next or to fight Pereira. And then if Pereira goes down, obviously he can fight Carlos Ulberg. And that's pretty easy fight to make, who wouldn't want to see that? But obviously Ulberg has to recover. So maybe Pereira could fight the winner of Ankalaev Roundtree in an interim title fight if Carlos can't make it in time and the UFC doesn't want to wait. But it would take Alex a lot of time to cut down that weight, because he went all the way up to 250, which is pretty freaking big. So I think if Alex stayed in the 230s, maybe in the 240s, like low 240s, I think he would have been fast enough for Gane. But obviously Gane hit him with a picture perfect punch, timed it absolutely perfectly. There was nothing anyone could have done. Like, if you get hit with that punch with that exact timing that Pereira did, he would have knocked out anybody at any time. Like, I don't know anyone that would not be rocked by that. Like, that, it was so perfect. So shout out to Cyril Gane for that. Not a shout out, but you know, respect to Cyril Gane for that time, you know, like that display of just beautiful striking. And yeah, I think he should fight.